Hey everybody, so let's get myself comfy here. Oh, there we go. Right, I'm gonna talk about, great white sharks at night. Now, I don't know much about this. Nobody knows much about great white sharks at night, other than the Nite Stalker. But I'm gonna go right back just to a story in False Bay. Many years ago, when I was 13 years old, we were on two occasions actually. We were out fishing many times, very early in the morning. My father was a crazy fisherman, and we'd launch at 1 o'clock in the morning and be out there fishing, depending on what time of the year it was and what we were fishing for. But there was one evening we were out, and we never got a clear glimpse of the shark, but it was an enormous great white shark. It was possibly the submarine, and it was so big. We were anchored off an area called the Strand, and we were fishing for what we call cob. It's a white-fleshed salmon, and they get very large. They get to 80 kilos, 90 kilos. They get very big, and we were fishing for cob, and great white sharks like eating cob, and we never had any of the fish taken off our line, from what I can remember. But this enormous great white shark came and swam around the boat, but it was very dark, because you don't, when you fish for cob, you don't have any lights on the boat or anything. It's got to be dark. And the shark was so big that it actually created a wake, because the water was flat calm. It was like glass. And this shark swam around the boat and created a wake. So it was obviously investigating and having a look what we were doing. And then another night, in almost exactly the same spot, also off the Strand, and it's shallow. I mean, we were just beyond the reef. There's a beach, and then a couple hundred meters out, there's a reef, and then we were just beyond the reef, probably in 5 or 6 meters of water. Not very deep water at all. And we noticed something out there. It's spooky. It's also a dark night. And we had a feeling, or we noticed something moving out there. And my father took a flashlight and he shone on it. And it was a big dorsal fin of a great white. You could see the dorsal on the surface and the tail. And it was also cruising around us. So we realized that they're pretty active at night, even in those days. But then a friend of mine and a colleague also, Ryan Johnson, he's a shark scientist, and he's from New Zealand, and he lives in Mossel Bay, and he actually works in the same area I work in, and he also worked in Gansbaai, Dyer Island area, when I was working there. And some years ago, they did a documentary, and they used special infrared cameras and all the rest of it to pick up sharks at night, this green, sort of like these military movies. And for the first time, great white sharks are actually filmed feeding at night. So that question was answered. So now we know that great white sharks are not just daytime feeders, they are also nocturnal feeders. And they were actually feeding on seals at night. And nobody knew this before. So that's another part of the behavior. I know it's a short video, but you may not have known this, that great white sharks actually will feed at night. So if they can feed on seals at night, they'll feed on other small shark species at night. They'll feed on fish at night, whatever they want, whatever prey they want to feed on, whatever's in the prey spectrum, they'll be able to feed on these animals at night. So there we go. I call them the Nite Stalker.